Welcome back to the Lemon Factor. I'm Chad, and today we are on part 2 of our multi-part video series in which we are testing out various air intakes for the 10th generation Honda Accord. So I have here one of our 2 project cars, the 2019 Honda Accord 2.0 Touring. And in this video, we are going to be testing out the Mishimoto Air Intake system. We are going to go through the install process. We are going to do some sound tests, and then we are going to strap the car onto the dyno and see how much horsepower and torque the Mishimoto Air Intake can produce on a 10th generation Honda Accord. So if you're interested in hearing more, then stay tuned. Before we continue, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Why don't we start off by taking a look at what's in the box. We have the main portion of the air intake enclosure, which we're replacing the OEM enclosure with the Mishimoto. This carbon fiber panel does come off. This will give you access to the air filter, which will be sitting inside. We have the cone air filter. This is an oiled air filter. We then have the replacement MAF sensor coupling. And then we have a silicone hose to connect to the rest of the OEM system. So let me take you to the car and show you exactly how all this is going to fit together. I'm going to start off with disconnecting the negative battery terminal. We're going to give the car a chance to relearn based on the new parameters for the air intake. Give it a chance to adjust to the air intake before we do put it on the dyno. Now we're going to remove these clips that hold this together. So after removing these 4, and definitely be careful, I've broken more than one. So you might want to have a pack of extras on hand. So we'll remove this, which connects down here. Remove this attachment to remove the MAF sensor. The screwdriver, be very careful when you remove the MAF sensor. This is an expensive sensor. You don't want to break this or damage it. And have it just press in. It should slide right out. There we go. Nice pop. Now with a 10mm socket, we're going to remove that bolt and that bolt. Now we're going to loosen and remove these 2 clamps. Like I said, this section of the OEM stays in place. We're just going to be replacing this. So unclip the cable for your MAF sensor from this box. Let's put this aside. Take the air filter out. We'll put that aside. So we got that out. And in removing the box, you're going to have to forcefully lift this up. There's a piece, and I'll show you once we get it out of here, that we have to dislodge the bottom of this box from. You do have to manhandle this a little bit, but be careful. Again, you have your ECU over here, and you have these top clips bumping into this, so it takes a little finessing. There we go. All right. So before putting the OEM box aside, remove these grommets or pads. You got 2 over here in the front, and then underneath you have this foot grommet, this cushion. We're going to transfer those over to the Mishimoto box. So this is the front of the box. Let's do the foot pad first. This is the grommet we took off of the OEM box. That'll just snap in place on the bottom. There we go. And then the other 2 go here. Now remember, you have this metal piece. To get them off of the OEM box, you had to remove the metal piece. I'm not sure why I put it back in, but you can insert that into there. Don't forget to put the piece back in, and it goes on the bottom. So see, that's the top. We'll screw our 10mm bolt into that later. We'll do the other side. Now we're going to transfer the MAF sensor to the Mishimoto housing. You will not reuse the 2 OEM screws, so put those off in a safe place just in case you ever want to return this back to stock. Mishimoto provides a rubber cap to go over the resonator hole. Now we're going to insert the Mishimoto air box. So if you look right over in the corner there, there is a peg, and we're going to insert this foot of the air box into that peg. Now that we have the box into position and the peg is in the bottom of the box here, we're going to reattach our bolts. There. We're going to now put the air filter into the box. Make sure you have your clamp here. It's either a flathead or 8mm. I like to use the socketing wrench. So we'll put that in, and this will connect to our MAF housing. Remember, the M faces you. So this will go through the opening. Make sure that this has a little gasket here, that this gasket sits nicely snug against the housing itself. Next, we're going to attach the silicone hose between the MAF sensor housing and the rest of the air intake with our supplied clamps. Once you have your silicone coupler in place, and this is a pain, I will tell you that it took a lot of manhandling to get this in place. So next step is we're going to attach the sensor to the cable. Hear a satisfying click. Remember, these do come with little plastic washers, so when you remove them the first time, make sure you don't lose them. The last piece is to reinstall the OEM air scoop. Again, I found that it's easier to put the rubber piece on to the plastic housing first. So we'll get this into place, we'll put our 4 clips in, and we will reattach the negative battery terminal, and we are going to start her up and see how well she sounds. I do have some error codes, so I'm going to have to drive the car. The hood is closed, the door is closed. Let's see what we can hear from inside, both at startup, and I'll rev the engine a little bit. So you definitely hear it with the lid off, which is good if that's what you're looking for. Probably not the best for performance, because now it's open to the heat of the engine bay. I'd have to say overall, this is a very quiet air intake with the air filter lid on. You could probably drive around and never induce the noise from the air filter. However, if you're looking for that whoosh, yeah, you can purposely initiate that. Let's go through the process that we're going to use for dynoing, which is the same that I went through with our new stock air intake, with the PRL Panel Air Filter replacement, and with the PRL Stage 1. And again, if you haven't taken a look at that video, I'll leave a link in the description below. But what we did is we put it on the dyno, we do the first pull, we throw that out. That's just a junk pull. But I'm gonna run it as many times as it takes to get a consistent number. And a consistent number to me would be within roughly 1.5 wheel horsepower. I'm going to try to get 3 or 4 of those. I call it quits and I say, hey, that's the number that we have. Now, in between each run, I'm gonna let it cool down. I'm gonna let the car cool down so it doesn't experience heat soak. That could be 5, could be 10 minutes, so that we have our engine coolant temperature, our ECT, at about 170, 179, which is the standard for this car. And for our intake air temperatures, both IAT1 and IAT2, to be consistent from one run to another run. So whatever that might be, and I'm able to do that, I'm able to see those numbers using the K-tuner. I'm just using the K-tuner to read the sensor parameters. For the run itself, I'm going to close the hood. The reason why I'm closing the hood is for these air intakes, the makeup, the design of the intake itself, between whether it today Mishimoto, AFE, Takeda, or PRL, are designed differently in the hopes that they're pulling in cool air in an efficient manner. The reason why I close the hood is to give that design a chance to work. Hopefully, we'll get some gains on the Mishimoto Air Intake. So let's head off to the dyno and let's see what we produce. I am pleased to say that the Mishimoto Air Intake does produce some horsepower. Now, it does not produce the power that Mishimoto has claimed, or at least based on our testing, it did not produce the same amount of horsepower. In regards to the torque, is a little tricky because the turbo is so small, it spools so quickly that your maximum torque is usually early on. It's around 2,000 RPMs, and that's usually when you're starting your dyno pull is right around 2,000 RPMs. So I'm not emphasizing torque on this car. Any other car or a different torque curve, sure. And I'm doing that because as
The differences in torque measurements could be attributed more towards how I'm rolling into the throttle, the beginning of each dyno pull, when I actually start the dyno pull, at what RPM. So those quick spikes, I'm not giving a lot of credit to. I'm looking after the spike, what does the torque curve look like afterwards? So I really hope you enjoyed this video. This took a lot of effort for me to put together, both in time and cost. You know, with this video, you now know how to install the Mishimoto Air Intake, you know how it sounds, and now you know how much horsepower and torque, how much horsepower you might be able to expect from adding a Mishimoto Air Intake to your car. Before we go though, remember, this is just part 2. There's going to be another part. I am going to replace the Mishimoto Air Intake with the AFE Takeda. We're going to go through the same process. And then after that, the PRL high volume intake. Again, hope you liked this video. Thank you very much, as always, for joining. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave a comment below. I think that's it for today. Thanks for joining, and until next time.